Let me also tell you, these green leafy vegetables are also rich in many kind of vitamins and minerals. So if you're actually cooking it properly and having it once in a week or something like that, it's absolutely fine to have. The benefits of having such vegetables actually far outweighs not having them, right? So don't completely cut out on these vegetables thinking it is bad for your thyroid. Okay, now when you have your thyroid medication, one of the things that you need to remember is that do not have it immediately around women, especially if you're on a biotin supplementation because of hair loss. You need to stop that supplementation before. Specifically, resistance training and weight training has a huge impact on improving the metabolic parameters and hence has an impact on your thyroid function. So, hypothyroidism. So, according to some surveys, it is very prevalent in India. 1 in every 10 Indians, roughly 10% of population that is having hypothyroid. Now, hypothyroidism is also more common among women than in men. What exactly is hypothyroidism? So, I think basics most of you would know, so I'm going to run through it faster. So, there is this gland here, a butterfly shaped gland called the thyroid gland. This gland produces two hormones, T3 and T4. Okay, T3 is called a triiodothyronin and T4 is called thyroxine. These two hormones are produced, and these hormones are very important for and it affects almost every single cell in the body. It is a major hormone which determines metabolism. It is important for the growth of your bone. It is important. It even regulates the pace of your heartbeat. Lot of similar functions. So it's very important. Metabolism of and breaking down of protein, fat, carbohydrates, extracting energy out of it. All these things are important. Thyroid hormones play a very important role. Now, of these two hormones, T3 and T4, T3 is the active form of the hormone. T4 is the inactive form of the hormone. Okay, so T3 is what we need, T4 is inactive form. Or look at it this way: you have rice at your home, you cook rice, right? And what we eat is a cooked rice, right? So the rice, which is the raw rice, is what you keep aside and you cook as and when you need, right? Something very similar, to put it very simply. Okay, so T3 or triiodothyronin is the active form, that's the cooked rice. T4 is the stored rice, right? You look at it that way. So that's how it is. So this hormone gland produces that. There is another gland called pituitary gland somewhere below the brain and the hypothalamus region, which is what regulates this gland. Okay, so this pituitary gland tells our thyroid gland to produce more T3 or T4 or reduce the production depending upon our requirement by secreting another hormone called TSH or thyroid stimulating hormone. So, a hypothyroidism is a condition wherein this gland is underactive and is not producing enough amount of T3 or T4. So, when this gland is not producing enough amount of T3 or T4, what happens is that the pituitary gland will signal this gland asking to produce more by generating or producing more thyroid stimulating hormone or more TSH. So, in your thyroid function test, if your TSH is high, which means this gland is not acting so much, is not creating enough amount of T3 or T4. So, that's how hypothyroidism is found. Now, general treatment of hypothyroidism is a thyroxine tablet, a Thyronorm tablet, also known as L-troxin, levothyroxine. All these tablets is the general medication which is done. So these tablets are nothing but the synthetic form of our thyroid hormone, a synthetic form of thyroxine or T4 is this tablet. So if your gland needs to produce 100 units of hormone, it is now producing only 80 because it is underactive, and that is hypothyroidism. So you're giving another 20 from an outside synthetic format by having a Thyronorm tablet. So that's what is normally done, right? Now, if you noticed a couple of things here, you're not really, you're kind of only substituting for the lack of the hormone production there. Okay, so that's one thing to really understand. There could be multiple reasons that the thyroid gland is not producing enough amount of the thyroid hormones. It is quite common among during the pregnancy time. So that's why women during pregnancy, the thyroid test is one of the most common and usually taken test. So the inflammation of this gland is called thyroiditis. So during pregnancy or after pregnancy, the postpartum thyroiditis is very common. So when that happens, sometimes for very few women, post the pregnancy, the gland stays inflamed or cause temporary hypothyroidism. But after pregnancy, for a very selected set of people, it continues to be hypothyroid. It continues to be lacking in terms of enough production of T3 or T4. So that happens. So after pregnancy, sometimes it happens. During pregnancy, it's common, but it gets solved after the delivery. But some women will continue to have it. So that's one way this thing happening. Now, this T3 and T4, one of the most important component with which this hormone is made is iodine. So lack of iodine in your food can also cause these kind of issues. As I said, the T3 and T4, right? The general, I mean, too much of technicalities. It's around 1:14 for every 1 T3, which is the active component, 14 units of T4. That's the normal levels of our T3 and T4. You would see that in a blood report. You know those levels, TSH, the indicated levels, the calculated levels. All these things will be seen in the report. So this T3, T4, so as I said, it can happen because of multiple reasons. It can happen because the T4 or the inactive form is not being converted into T3. That happens in kidney and liver. So multiple reasons. Or it could also happen because the pituitary gland is not signaling our gland, the thyroid gland, to produce more. So multiple reasons that a person could have thyroid. Okay, so it's not as simple as it sounds like. It's a little complicated. But then most common and easiest method of treating that is through a thyroid synthetic hormone supplementation, which is your Thyronorm or Eltroxin. So that's what I wanted to say. What did I miss? Yes, goitrogenic or cruciferous vegetables. So it's common among people to stop eating cruciferous or green leafy vegetables such as cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, kale, all these things people stop eating during hypothyroidism. Now, is that advised? Well, there is a reason behind asking them, these people telling you to stop eating these vegetables. These green leafy vegetables particular are also very high in certain components, also nicknamed as cruciferous components. They are things like flavonoids, goitrins, things like these. So, but the thing to understand is that most of these cruciferous properties are destroyed when you actually cook or heat these vegetables. So, most of the such properties are inhibited when you cook. Also, you need to eat that in a very huge quantity for it to actually have an impact on your thyroid gland. So, what happens is that these goitrins or flavonoids, which is found in these vegetables, kind of interact with iodine and inhibits the production of thyroid hormones in our gland, in our thyroid gland. So that's why it is actually being said. Which so that's the thing. So if you actually have, but then let me also tell you, these green leafy vegetables are also rich in many kind of vitamins and minerals. So if you're actually cooking it properly and having it once in a week or something like that, it's absolutely fine to have. The benefits of having such vegetables actually far outweighs not having them, right? So don't completely cut out on these vegetables thinking it is bad for your thyroid. Okay. And what else? Yes, so a person having thyroid hypothyroidism, it's very common for them to also have a deficiency of vitamin B12 and vitamin D3. It's very commonly seen. There is a close correlation. A lot of research is still going on as to why is that correlation existing, but it's very common. So it's a good idea to actually check that also. Two other minerals which also helps in production or is important for the production of thyroid hormones is one zinc, another one is selenium. These two are rich in all kind of cereals. Meat, chicken, fish, egg, these kind of things are rich in these two nutrients. So include that in the diet, that helps. Right, so there is something called a Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Hashimoto's thyroiditis is autoimmune, wherein the thyroid gland is kind of attacking its own self and it's kind of degenerating. That also causes hypothyroidism. So autoimmune hypothyroidism is also known as Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So that's yet another common thing. Right, so I think so that's pretty much that I wanted to tell you about. Now, when you have your thyroid medication, one of the things that you need to remember is that Do not have it immediately around your coffee or tea. Always keep at least 1 hour of gap between your coffee tea intake and your thyroid supplementation, because the thyroid supplementation interacts with caffeine in tea or coffee and can kind of, the absorption of that can be much lesser. So it is recommended that you reduce that. There is one of the B vitamin, B7, also known as biotin, which generally people have because it's highly helpful for building nails and hair and things like that. So if women, especially if you're on a biotin supplementation because of hair loss, you need to stop that supplementation before getting a thyroid test done, because the biotin supplementation can interact with your blood levels and might show a wrong indication on your test. So if you're on a hair supplement, if you're using any supplement to build or to get more hair growth, stop that for at least 2 days before you do your thyroid test. Otherwise your entire thyroid test can be messed up, can give entirely wrong indications. The most important thing that I want to tell you is that exercises, specifically resistance training and weight training, has a huge impact on improving the metabolic parameters and hence has an impact on your thyroid function. So women usually shy away from lifting weights and doing resistance training. Please do resistance training. It has a huge impact. Don't be shy of lifting weights and lifting those dumbbells, or even doing resistance training at home, right? So that has a huge impact. It improves the lean body mass and muscle mass. So that's primarily that I wanted to tell you a brief idea about thyroid. Because of hypothyroidism, weight gain is very common because fatigue is a byproduct of hypothyroidism. So fatigue and tiredness and laziness is very common. So people end up being overweight. It can be controlled to a huge extent by actually planning the diet and by planning exercises. By planning the nutrition in terms of creating a proper structured calorie plan along with an exercise regimen, specifically resistance or weight training, will help in managing thyroid, if not reversing it. Reversing is still debatable. So that's how it is, and that's what we do at NuvoVivo. If you want to have a program customized to manage, if not reverse, manage primarily your hypothyroidism and improve your lean body mass and your metabolic parameters, reach out to us. We are an online fitness company. You can do this program from anywhere in the world as long as you have a phone. My name is Rajiv Ambad. Once again, stay healthy, stay safe, stay home, stay young, stay fit. Take care.